better shake your booties for black girl nerds.
The first thing I want to talk about is the song Into the Unknown, and I think it'll be like Let It Go for Frozen 2, but that's just me until further notice.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, how did you go about, creating that gravitas and emotion for this song?
I can take absolutely zero credit for any of this. I mean, I think, there was a great concept for the moment, and that was where we sort of started working, was just at the concept level, and we really only touched a few little things. I really only touched costume-wise things, but as the scene and sequence is progressing forward and we get more information, it all helps to inspire the next step forward. So, the first time you hear the demo of the song, it's one thing, and you sort of start to build an idea of what it can all become. Yeah. And then when you hear Adina's recording of it, it's just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I hope that my work is able to support this, because how does a person make that sound? So, I hope that everyone's efforts ultimately in the end are coming together to say, the same thing, and to really celebrate this moment for her, and to, make it this beautiful piece on its own.
And I mean, you mentioned the costumes, and I know you talked about, how there's always glitter or ice symbols, and even for Anna, she has like the wheat symbol. And for me, those two symbols are quite similar. Like, could you talk about just playing off of each other? And I mean, they're sisters clearly, but just playing off of the art direction for that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that might have been something that had started as far as, rose mulling was concerned in the first movie. That's the design language that we used on both girls. And our production designer, Mike Giammo, was very aware of the power of that kind of iconography, and how we could use it to make both of the girls different, but also make them feel of the same world. And that idea of keeping a similar shape language to both designs, even though one is clearly snow and one is clearly wheat. That was really important to make sure that they didn't feel completely isolated from one another, that they should still speak a similar language, but have their own identities, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How did you even get into animation?
How did I get into animation?
Yeah.
Oh, it started from being a little girl just dreaming about it, really.
Yeah.
And then I went to school, and then I graduated, and then I applied to Disney, and then Disney got nothing until 10 years later. I got my first interview, and here I am.
It's just like that. It's
just like that,
I kind of knew from 6 years, from The Little Mermaid. That was it for me.
You were 6 years old?
The Little Mermaid, yeah.
Okay. I'm not telling you my age.
That I really, this is what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to be here, and I actually sent a drawing into Disney, and they put it on TV, and so that was sort of like, okay, I'm going to get there, and being from Sharon, Pennsylvania, as I imagine it's similar being from Jakarta, nobody, at least at that time, knew any way to help you do that.
No, for me it's like, oh, I wanna work for Disney. I put that in the same category as I'm going to be an astronaut and a ballerina at the same time. It's just crazy, and who knows whether it's going to happen or not. Like I still can't believe it.
Yeah. So it's kind of these like baby steps of, getting to school, and then, making a transition to the West Coast, and ultimately making it here.
Yeah.
And I was lucky in the trainee program. I started here in that. So
I was more persistent and stubborn. It's always like, hey, do you get something? Nope, nothing. I'm like, we're not hiring. Or they called like, hey, we're hiring. I'm like, I can't. I have to finish this project. And,
I love it. So let's talk about being a woman in the animation industry. Go.
You're free.
I think we are at the age right now, at the time that is the right time. I think, we're being embraced as equal, which is great. because that's all we want, equal.
Yeah.
It's exciting too, and that, you know, I mean, I only have a female perspective. That's all I've ever had. And so coming into even the first Frozen and seeing the type of story that was being told with the two sisters, I mean, that felt right and very, you know, empowering and like something that I wanted to be a part of. And so that's sort of been my experience throughout the time of being here. And that, for me, was very early on in my career here, where, you know, we tell so many different stories and we have so many different characters that there are different perspectives to be had, and hopefully everybody brings something to the table.
Yeah. So any advice that you would give someone working their way up?
Persistence.
Persistence.
Yeah, just keep going. And have a life too. That's
Right.
important.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
fall
Go on
into this.
vacation at the same time.
Yeah.
Be persistent, do everything, and then have balance.
Yeah, refill the well, you
kidding.
know, like it's easy to get burned out as artists, I think, and to feel like you're just never going to get there, and everybody works so hard that you have to have something that you can pull from for inspiration. So
Absolutely.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.